This is basically the line of the day for Donald.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming out and listening to the real Short Box. My name is Donald. The gentleman to my left is the masterful Jarrett, and to my right, that's the left, and to my right is Mr. Kevin. So, we're going to talk about what it is to basically, we're going to be doing a what if type scenario. So, what if, for example, what if Ben Grimm had the power of Galactus? What if the Darth Vader had the power of Aquaman? You know, that kind of stuff. These what if scenarios with powers is what we're going to be discussing today. I'm going to step away real quick for a little moment while I post this stuff and get everything ready. And Kevin and Jared, I think you're going to talk about an announcement that came earlier in the last week, I believe it was.
Yes. We've already been touting how excited we are for this Suicide Squad film. Donald and I, we did a character spotlight on this character, the Peacemaker, who will be played by John Cena. He is supposedly, he wants peace at all costs, even if it means violence, which is
ironic.
Awesome. Yeah, and as James Gunn explained it to John Cena and sold him on it, it was Captain America, but a douchebag, pretty much. So I love that. But the big announcement was James Gunn and HBO will be doing a Peacemaker TV series. And allegedly it's supposed to be a prequel because everybody was like, oh, well, that means John Cena survives. But no, that doesn't mean he survives. So this is a prequel about his earlier exploits from what I got. Gunn will be writing, I think, the whole series, and he will be directing a few of the episodes. So I'm super excited about this. The first appearance, Fighting 5, number 40, was already a $300 book. Now it's whatever they want to charge for it because it's a very hard book.
Astronomical. It's always been a hard book to find. I've been looking for it at conventions and stuff for ages. eBay always wanted it way too much. Even back before anything was mentioned, it was a $400 or $500 book easy.
Yeah. Pre-announcement, pre-Suicide Squad, this book has been hard to find and expensive. So we would all like to own one here at the Real Short Box. So please, you can send your copies in. We will pay the shipping, but we will not pay anything else because you're very nice. Please.
You can basically consider an offering.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to it'll be like our Patreon, like you just give us the comics and we'll say, hey, thanks, Denise from Anaheim. That was great. Fighting 540. That'll go right in the collection. Thanks. And so you'll get a shout out. Who doesn't like to hear their name?
Everybody likes to hear their name.
Everyone.
So tonight, too, I wanted to specify, too, we will be in this what-if situation. What we will be doing is we'll be talking about almost like weapon swaps. So there's been a lot of great weapons or devices or charms or trinkets that characters have, like the Venom symbiote, the Thor's hammer, the Green Lantern ring. But we're going to say, what if, and I hope I'm not taking anybody's, but what if Howard the Duck had a Green Lantern ring, something like that.
Oh, that was mine!
Sorry, I ruined it. I'm sorry. The cool thing is we did not confer with each other about who was picking what because we actually wanted this one to be a surprise. We each chose 3 characters and 3 weapons to swap with those characters. So, I'm looking forward to hearing these gentlemen's choices, and I'm looking forward to sharing mine.
I know you said you believe you have the best ones, so I can't wait to hear yours, Jared. You're talking
some.
He said he had the best ones of everybody.
Yeah,
there's some that are subtle, and then there's some that are epic, and you're gonna be like, "Yes, Jared, yes," in that voice.
Yeah. We shall see.
Yeah.
Wow.
By the way, how do you fellas feel about the no surprise, of course, moving some of these MCU movies deep into next year? So Black Widow got moved again to May. So basically, yeah.
I'm personally, I get it. It makes sense. And if they want a proper movie release, they have to wait.
And make money.
Realistic. I'm saddened because it just means that our situation with this pandemic is ongoing.
It's continuing, yep.
Whereas
Yeah.
I do believe on a whole it's getting better, but they're being realistic. I get it. Like they're just like we can't we want to get money. We want you to see these in the theater. You could tell they're really. I would imagine every day there's meetings at Disney about people going, why don't we just stream it on Disney Plus and charge people and do it like that? Where
Well,
I know a lot of people would love to do that. Personally, I don't know. Call me old-fashioned. I still want it to be released in the theater because that'll mean some things are back to normal.
Right, make you feel better. Well, Mulan was the experiment, and that, from what my understanding, it didn't work out as well.
Yeah. I mean, I have kids, and we had no desire to pay $30 or whatever it was to stream that.
Even if your kids split the cost, they still didn't want to do it.
I said cough up your allowance, and they were like, "Well, Dad, I'd rather get some candy." And I said, "Fine, we're not seeing Mulan then." And I canceled Disney Plus, and I canceled their birthdays.
Oh, there you go. That's wonderful.
It was
That's
little extreme. I know. Yeah.
Is it though?
I feel sorry for you on Father's Day next year. It's not going to work out too well for you, sir.
They're not gonna. I'm not getting any cool cards.
Yeah. And then your favorite movie, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, that got pushed back as well.
Yeah. And then Eternals, of course.
Got pushed. Yep.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see because they obviously want to get publicity behind all these movies, but they also can't, like Black Widow has already kind of suffered because like they had a toy line with Marvel Legends that's been on the racks for months because they thought that movie was going to come out on its regular scheduled time. So it's going to be interesting how to re-hype that movie and then, continuously keep people excited about, the other stuff. The smart move they did was the WandaVision trailer, because that will be something that people can stream. I would imagine they're going to be doing or they're probably chomping at the bit or really working hard to get us a what is it? Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer, I would imagine.
Yeah. We're posted, by the way, guys, so if you want to share the link out.
Okay.
Beautiful.
We've got a couple viewers popping in already, so.
Is one of them Enrique?
So far it's Maria that I know of. Enrique, if he's here, he hasn't announced himself. My mom's here. Everybody say hi to my mom.
Hi, Donald's mom.
Hi,
Mom.
All right.
All
So spreading the word.
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about action figures. Jared, I know you have a bit of an obsession with them now. You enjoy them. But I'm going to tell you right now,
yeah.
you need to stop. You need
What?
to stop.
I mean, my family wishes I would stop.
I know, but at least now I can say I tried.
Yeah.
I knew it wouldn't work, but I thought I could try. Say I tried. I tried, guys. I tried. Your daddy, he really loves you, but there's these toys. And
I had a dilemma yesterday at Target. I was like, do we have dinner for the rest of the week or a toy? And then I luckily chose well, but it hurt still. It hurt.
yeah.
So basically, you didn't eat for the week.
Exactly. I chose right. I got the toy, and we don't have dinner.
Oh,
But
yay.
We're all going to look very svelte and very, we'll look great. We all need to lose a couple of those quarantine pounds.
It's true. What a horrible way, though.
Yeah, it's a little extreme. I agree. There we go. Okay. I am sharing this to the world.
Great. I've got us all set up here. We've got our title, Superpower What If?
Sharing it with the palookas.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Share it with everybody. Share it with the world.
Share it with everybody.
Yeah. I've shared it with a few people. So, basically when we're talking about the movies that are being delayed and stuff, we were discussing that just a moment ago. I think it's smart. Like you guys were saying about Mulan and stuff. But also, Mulan was destined to fail because they didn't put Mushu in Mulan.
Is that the dragon?
Yeah. There's no dragon in Mulan.
So basically,
Spoilers.
they made it more realistic.
But they did, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they thought it was more realistic or if they thought it was less, what's culturally insensitive, perhaps. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe trying. It'd be like saying that every African American is involved in voodoo of some sort. You know, I guess Asians and dragons. You know,
Right.
I,
But it is still like a huge part of the culture, though. I mean, like
I assume, yeah. I mean, I'm not
in
coming
arts
from not knowing, enough.
So would it
to
be like having a
speak for them.
leprechaun in an Irish
For anybody,
movie?
but me.
Kind of like that.
What's that, Kevin?
Have like a leprechaun in an Irish movie, just like you're stereotyping.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess. Yeah. That's a tough one, though. You can't really have leprechauns without Irish people. You know, it'd be like there's this Eastern European leprechaun that's on the run.
Oh, I got it. A Russian leprechaun.
I would love for somebody to take up that fight and be like, we need more diverse leprechauns.
Right. It'd be like if you're talking about Russian leprechauns, it'd be like, hello, my friend. If you get me pot of gold, I will take good care of you.
Lucky Charms, not for you. Niet.
Right? Yeah. I think that works. So
Or German leprechaun. Yeah.
ja, das ist sehr gut.
You know what? We might be writing a movie right there. There we go. I got the new comedy.
Diverse.
I already wrote it, Kevin.
Actually,
I already wrote it. I wrote it. Look, it's in my notes. I wrote it down. I wrote it down in my notes.
Discover that they're not only leprechauns in Ireland, they're leprechauns all around the world.
Coolest notepad ever, by the way.
Short Box Rumble Spoon Productions trademark.
That's right. All right. Well, I guess we can go ahead and get started. We've got a few people popping in here. Might as well bring the heat.
All right. Let's go. Welcome, everyone, brothers and sisters of podcast land. Welcome to the brightest, the most righteous, the sweetest podcast today, the real Short Box. Today, we are short one of our brethren because they are very busy tonight. They have to take care of some personal business. So we wish our brother Darren well in his ventures tonight. He'll be back next week.
Darren's on set working.
Yes.
It's okay to mention that. He's working.
Okay.
He's working on a television show, so that's a cool thing. We can mention it.
Okay.
He's working on the Carnage spin-off television.
Wait, come on, man. He signed that agreement. You can't talk about that, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
Woody Harrelson and him. Oh, never mind.
All right.
Venom dies. Oh, sorry.
First,
So bad.
First, the chairman of the board of the Real Short Box. He is an intimate lover, a Silver Age comics. He is DC for life. He is the hot rod of pop culture, and he has a beard that ladies love, and their hearts flutter when they see it. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the original Donald.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that.
And last but not least, he is an international man of mystery. He was the 2019 Northern California Husband of the Year. He is the fool killer of ignorant people everywhere. He is the Lionel Richie of Bronze Age comics. My friends, let me present to you, he is sweet, white chocolate. Jared.
Simply ravishing.
And of course, I am the Grand Master of the Jedi and Vulcan arts, your Supreme Chancellor, Dr. Kevin.
Yay! Hey, there he is, Enrique. Hey, he says, hey, guys. Hello, Enrique.
All right. Hey, how you doing, brother Enrique?
Nice to see you. We're going to dive in here, guys. We're going to get started on these superpower what-ifs. We also really, really, really want you guys to participate. So if you have any thoughts on certain characters having certain powers and what they could do with it and why, please feel free to bring that up, because we're only going to do about 3 each. So we're going to have 9 in total. So that's not a lot compared to what's out there in the universe of comic books. So
Yeah, we'll do this again. This will be fun. I'm sure we'll do this another version of this.
depending on how many views we get, we'll do this again.
Exactly. In the vein of this too, didn't they recently give Frank Castle like the War Machine armor, right?
Yeah,
that would make sense.
They also made him a Frankenstein monster as well.
They made him a Frankenstein too, yeah. So that's kind of the gist of things we're going to be doing today. Does anybody have a particularly burning desire to start? If not, I can just get mine out of the way.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'll go after you, Jared.
I'm going to start a little obscure, and then the other ones are going to be like, oh, yeah, I know those. But as Kevin has introduced me, as I've talked at nauseum about, as you can see behind me, I am a maybe #1 Fool Killer fan, at least in Northern California, maybe on the southern region of the Southern Hemisphere, or in other geography terms that I don't know much about.
Definitely.
But I love the Fool Killer. Now, the Fool Killer had a gun that he called the Purification Gun. And this gun is what got passed down to each Fool Killer. And the cool thing about this gun is it was pretty much like your 1950s sci-fi ray gun, like alien ray gun, where pretty much if you shot somebody with it, they just completely disintegrated into a pile of ash. So there was no backsies. If you shot somebody with this gun, it was playing for keeps. So I thought, who would be cool? Who could benefit? What sick psychopath could benefit? Because the Fool Killer had a kind of modicum of like, he killed fools, so he had to be deemed a fool. Each incarnation of the Fool Killer deemed different people fools and would kill as such. Now, I thought, who would be the one who could actually make this, could just streamline this weapon? So I'm giving the Fool Killer's Purification Gun to Gotham's The Red Hood. And this is why.
Okay.
Now, the Red Hood is pretty much, I don't know how he is right now. I know he's become more of the Batman family. But when they reintroduced him as, this resurrected Jason Todd, he was pretty much DC's Punisher. He went to Gotham and he like chopped dudes' heads off and killed people. He pretty much was like, Batman, look what happened because you didn't kill the Joker. I got beaten with a crowbar and, left for dead, and I would have been dead if I didn't, get thrown into the Lazarus pit. So now you put this Purification Gun in the Red Hood's hands. Pretty much, you're gonna have a very angry Batman, but you're also gonna have a Batman who's not gonna be able to say shit because the Penguin's gonna be gone. Mr. Zsasz is gonna be a pile of ash. The Joker will be a pile of ash. Pretty much, Gotham's like all the Two-Face, all those guys will be cleaned up in like a week with that gun in the Red Hood's hand.
Right.
So, to me, it's just about efficiency, and it's about being, who's the best person for the job, and
and who has the most villains too. This makes sense because Batman's world, Red Hood being tied to it, there's so many villains in Batman's world that makes sense. If you brought it, like if you put it in the hands of the Punisher, for instance, the Punisher's villain base isn't quite as large, although he goes outside to eventually find things. But I think you're going to get quicker results with the Red Hood.
Yeah. And then you're going to have this question, if you were doing it from a comic book story point of view, of Batman going like what would be his argument to want to stop Red Hood kind of thing? Of like, well, he's like, I'm taking care of everything. Like, look, I went to stop Two-Face today. Two-Face is gone. He's a pile of ash right now.
No
like,
pain.
He's done.
There was no pain.
Yeah, no pain. Done. Disintegrated.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Yeah.
I can see that. Makes sense to me.
So that's my #1 pick. My first pick.
Okay. Kevin, do you have something?
Yeah, my first pick is given a certain person in the Marvel Universe the Red Lantern Ring. Now, the Red Lantern Ring is one of the most powerful of the Spectrum rings. It's no joke. Rage plasma, rage transformation, energy projection where you have blood, pouring from your mouth. And that person I chose to have the Red Lantern Ring is none other than a very enraged, gone over the edge, Dr. Bruce Banner, the Incredible Hulk.
Son of a bitch. we should have gone over each other's list because now I'm down one.
Oh,
Well,
really?
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Really.
I'll tell you
Not
what,
even
let's do me a
joking.
favor. All right, Donald. Since this happened, this kind of happened before a year ago. So with this, let's team up together and discuss it.
All right.
Let's team up on this.
Sure.
Do it. So that's
First
cool.
off, like as somebody who didn't pick that one and that you both did, I think it's brilliant. I think it's like that is.
Here's the only caveat to mine. Yours is anger. Mine
Rage,
is
yeah.
rage. Mine is fear. I went with Sinestro's yellow ring.
Oh.
So
For the Hulk? For the Hulk?
For the Hulk. So it's a little different.
Interesting.
Oh.
That's interesting.
You could do it both ways. I just saw that there's plenty of rage in the Hulk, and he could be self-sufficient there. But I think it'd be more interesting if he was having to rely on others' fear of him.
Well, in this case, maybe he has both rings then. He can do that.
Well, I didn't want that with
Right.
the story, that the narrative I had. The narrative
Oh.
I had was, what if he faces a character that has no fear of him?
Oh, I see.
If
Well,
he has no fear of him, he has no power with the ring, but he still has to fight him as the Hulk.
Gotcha.
So, it's
well,
you're going to be in trouble no matter what you do. But,
Oh.
let's say if it's like Thor or Hercules or something, and they don't have fear of him, then it nullifies the ring itself. Whereas if you have the rage, if the Hulk gets enraged, he's already doubling down and he's got instant, I don't think there'd be any stopping the Hulk with rage ring.
That's the whole idea. If you brought that Red Lantern ring into the Marvel Universe, I believe all bets are off. It's bad news. And basically, the way I kind of set this up was that Betty Ross and Rick Jones were brutally murdered by the leader. So all bets are off. He learns about this Red Lantern ring. He got access to it through the help of Metron.
Mm-hmm.
And well, you can only imagine how things are going to go down in the Marvel Universe with that Red Lantern ring.
So this is like almost like Marvel's, by way of DC, Injustice story.
Yeah. It's going to be
wasn't that where Superman, Lois gets killed?
Lois Lane gets
Superman
killed.
loses it.
Yeah.
Betty gets killed. Hulk loses it, but then he gets this weapon where
to make
he's
him
already
even more powerful.
reckoned with. Yeah.
So this is probably gonna make him like near omnipotent. It's like it's serious business. You're in deep trouble.
See,
Yeah.
and then I want to see that Hulk fight the Red Hulk ring, Rage Hulk fight Cosmic Ghost Rider and Galactus, because he would be on that level of that it would just be like destruction of worlds and
Yeah. Or what if you had the Hulk and you had Sasquatch with a yellow ring?
Uh-huh.
Or something along, or Abomination with a red ring. Would the red ring make the Abomination? Would that kind of be the difference, the tipping point that he needed in every time he faced him to actually finally defeat him?
Well, and also you were saying with Hulk and the yellow ring, if he was like the Hulk where he had Bruce Banner's mind in the Hulk's body, he would be able to use tactics to manipulate the fear in others to kind of, I think he'd be actually like a creative genius of like how he could make a guy like Hercules terrified and use that ring to, decimate him.
There'd be a storyline where he would have to work his way through to make that happen, like how he could do it. And I think that would be more fun in a lot of ways. Characters that have too much power. I also feel like if we're going to do it this way, we should make it just Bruce Banner and not the Hulk. So
really? So
Banner
you
can use the
Hulk
ring.
Element would be better.
Right. Bruce Banner can use the ring, but he can't. The ring maybe nullifies the Hulk. What if that was a thing to where when he needed to use the ring, he couldn't be the Hulk, so he would in a way be more vulnerable, but still just as powerful.
Right.
So it could be interesting.
Well, you know what? It might piss him off more that he can't Hulk. He can't turn into the Hulk.
Yeah. That's possible. Very possible. I was reading, by the way, have you guys read the Immortal Hulk? Have you read that yet?
A couple issues.
Is that where Is that what? That's not. Is that the Amadeus Cho?
No, no.
No.
The Immortal Hulk is the newest run of the
Oh.
Hulk. It's like 40 something issues in right now. It's basically where Bruce Banner gets killed multiple times, but he always gets brought back to life by the Hulk at night because the Hulk comes out. It'd be like if basically the Hulk's kind of a werewolf in this.
Okay.
So the human can get killed, but at night then the werewolf comes out and brings the guy back to life. So, and then the next day Banner's alive again. So it's a really fascinating story, and it created this new mythos with the Hulk, which is great, by the way. I'm not normally a big Hulk fan, to be honest. I like the Marvel Cinematic for the funny humor and stuff like that. But the Hulk in general always kind of bored me because I always thought he was overpowered, and it was kind of, oh, I'm angry or I'm not angry, and I was like, I don't care. But this one has created such a new mythos with the Hulk and a new story idea that I'm riveted. It's a page turner. I've gone through 2 volumes of it since last week, so
yeah,
I love it. Highly recommend it for those.
To Marvel for they have been doing a lot of like what you just mentioned. They have it like the rebooting stuff was annoying. The restarting of books is annoying. They still do that, but they have been doing these things where they're kind of re-evaluating with all the history how they can have a new spin on a character like Hulk, or like what Hickman's doing with the X-Men, the House of X and all that stuff. Like, I went back and reread that and I was like, he is doing some very interesting stuff. He is taking the history and twisting it some, but he's doing some interesting things with it. Better than the same old, like, a big character dies and then we have a new crossover story, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think they're doing a good job in some ways. In other ways, I think, like, as a collector, okay, so for instance, I brought my friend, my close friend from back home, Derek. He doesn't collect comics anymore. He did for a short while when we were in our teens. But he hasn't collected in years. So he came with me to a comic shop when I went back home to Ohio to visit. And he was like, let me help you look for some of these books. Do you have a list? And I was like, yeah. And he's looking for New Avengers number 7 or something. And then he was looking for, I can't remember what it was. It was like a Spider Woman book or something like that for me. But I didn't list what volume, because I knew what one I needed. So about 10 times he came over with an Avengers number 7 and was like, is this the one? And I was like, no, that's not it. That's actually, that's a different Avengers. That's the 4th time they rebooted the Avengers and they brought it. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, that's just not it. It's a different number 7. And he's like, okay. And then he'd go back and then he'd come over and he'd be like, is this one it? And I'd be like, no, that's the 5th volume. That's from and he would be like, unbelievable. Why are they doing this? He's like, I don't understand. Like,
I have no regrets about stopping comics.
Yeah, it was, yeah, exactly. It, like, frustrated him to no end. He was happy to do it, but at the end I think he was exhausted because it was just like, when am I going to be right? So I just started pointing to stuff where I knew there was only one volume of something. I'd be like, look for this one. And he'd be like, okay, cool. And then if he found it, it was great. But if not, then, But yeah, frustrating. Marvel, you're frustrating people, so stop it. Just, Marvel, stop it. One volume, that's it. Just keep going with the... You don't need to number 1 everything, for God's sakes.
No, I mean, I don't even know what volume they are on Avengers.
I don't understand why they just don't do miniseries then, if they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I do to a point, because miniseries sell less because it's a smaller story, and they want to keep people going for forever. So if you can get a 10, 20-part storyline like they would in the 90s Batman stories,
yeah,
hell, they're happy as clams. But anyway, I digress. Kevin, did you have anything more to say about the Hulk?
No, that's it.
Okay. Let me pull up an image. Since I didn't know what guys you were going to talk about, I could only collect images from what I was going to talk about.
Right.
So I'm going to talk about, speaking on on what you were discussing earlier, Jared. I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to cover both of your faces with these images. I'm sorry. So Kevin, you're first. I'm going to discuss what if Batman had the powers of Jean Grey.
Shit.
Now, again, we're talking about, and Jarrett, you made some very valid points with the Red Hood. What if we had Batman having the capabilities to not only telepathically move things, but to also kind of alter people's patterns of thinking?
Right.
What if Batman was able to fix things in the minds of some of these villains that were just batshit crazy? Where would he stop at that point? Because he's not killing them, but
Right.
he's altering who they are. So where does the dilemma come morally of where Batman is crossing the line now?
Which would be a great spin-off of like the Identity Crisis story, because wasn't he like, he was the one who they tried to keep it from, right? When Zatanna like changed the memories of people, they like hid it from Batman. And then there was a thing of like, did they mess with Batman's memory too?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
it would be him being in the position now to do what he was so adamantly against.
And I think it was in Mark Waid's run of Justice League. It was Tower of Babel, I believe,
Yeah.
where they found out that he had contingency plans in case any of the heroes turned rogue, that he could
how to
could
beat
kill
him,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, how to destroy them. He had plans for this, and they were like, "That's fucked up, Batman. Like, why would you think I would turn bad? Why were you like planning on killing me? This is sick. You're a sick man." Imagine if he could read your mind and know exactly what would do you in.
Right.
He would have everybody's information. He would have everybody on the street. He'd be walking the streets at night, as you'd probably see Bruce Wayne more, because he'd be walking the streets more at night, hearing and listening to everybody's conversation to see who's going to commit a crime, who's thinking about, who has all of this. It would be a more sufficient Batman, a more efficient Batman, I mean, but he'd also kind of probably drive himself insane that way too.
It would also be that, that absolute power corrupts absolutely. Like, I think in the end, he would become the villain.
Yeah.
It would be too much temptation and too much power for him,
Uh-huh.
and he's such a neurotic. So, like, to be able to have the power to be like, okay, I could just tell the Joker to stop committing crimes, but I am taking away his free will, which is like, he's all about like people making up their own minds and doing, so it would be very interesting to see the moral dilemmas or to see him just go completely power crazy.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. When I was thinking about this, it was actually it was Maria that came up with the idea of Batman with the powers of Charles Xavier, because we were kind of spitballing last night when we were discussing, and she came up with that great idea, and I thought, well, I'll go one better. I'll go with Jean, because she can have more of a power capability if she honed it correctly, which Xavier always said. Think about Batman's skills of how he was able to hone his body in everything that he does. He does it 150,000%. Imagine him with the powers of Jean Grey, who has that capability to become much more stronger than Xavier ever could be.
And that's also throwing in telekinesis. So he'd be like, batarangs, just like,
Yep. Yeah. He wouldn't even have to, like, he could just pull up things from around him and throw it. He would be like, it'd be like Magneto and Xavier smushed together, and Batman would have their powers. And in just one little complete package, that would be Jean Grey's powers. Jean Grey is very powerful. I know that we had her, and Sammy, if you're listening, I know that we had her lose in the superhero Smackdowns that we were doing live here podcasting. But I will say that she's an extremely powerful character when used correctly, and especially if she could hone her true potential. So this was a fun choice for me, and thanks to Maria for helping me with that.
Well, I'm going to piggyback off a mutant, and I'm going to piggyback off of a telepath, telekinetic. I'm going to go with Betsy Braddock, a.k.a. Psylocke. Now I'm going with the 90s Jim Lee ninja version, when she became like super badass, had the projection knife. I think she could make like telekinetic swords and all that stuff. So I'm not going to give her a crazy power or a crazy weapon, because she's already, I think she's Omega level. I don't know. She's super powerful. But I'm going to give her something cool that would just make her I think she's a 9.5 on the badass level. This is going to make her a clear 10. I'm going to give her, since Star Wars comics have been in Marvel Universe, this will work. I'm going to give her Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber. So
nice.
You've got a ninja assassin, telepath, telekinetic with Darth Maul's lightsaber, and she's already shown she can be equipped. She can learn weapons very well. She usually has like a samurai sword. She's been known to make swords, I think, out of her power. She has that like side blade knife.
Right.
So throw in a badass, to me, I was just thinking of like, what are some of the coolest weapons out there? And a lightsaber, I would think is on the top 10 of like coolest weapons.
Absolutely.
And then you throw in the double bladed one. Just imagine like a solo series of her just like being an assassin with that thing,
Dispatching people.
Yeah, dispatching people, even if they had her like possessed by the hand again or something like that, but just like a complete killing machine. She could read your mind. She's a ninja, and she's got this weapon that can just cut through anything. So to me, it was literally like the cover of the comic. I'm like, just see Psylocke with a double-bladed lightsaber would just like, I'd buy that book in a heartbeat.
And in a certain sense, she does use a certain form of the Force, but just telekinesis.
Completely, yeah. So she's kind of like a Jedi in a sense, yeah, and a super powerful Jedi at that. So you've got one of the most powerful minds right up there with Jean Grey, with the fighting skills of a ninja, and now a weapon that can kind of like adamantium can cut through anything. So she's kind of like the ultimate killing machine, if in her own free will, or if she was used as an assassin by somebody else. So I would kill to see that.
I love the visual of that.
Yeah.
I think what they tried to do in the new movies with Rey.
Right.
I enjoyed what they were trying to do, like creating a new strong female character in the Star Wars.
It wasn't as poorly executed.
Universe. It just wasn't as executed as we would like to have. And they should just steal her from the X-Men and put her in the Star Wars. Because honestly, she's so overshadowed in the X-Men world.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I don't think she gets enough play. I don't think she.
Except in Uncanny X-Force. Uncanny X-Force, she got a lot of good play.
Yeah. Didn't they do with her and Phantom X? They kind of had a cool relationship.
Yeah, it was her, Phantom X, Archangel, Wolverine, and Deadpool. That was a great team.
Right.
Great.
But are they still doing anything with her right now? Are they?
That I'm not aware of.
And before that, what did they do with her? I mean, if you get the right writer, yeah. But I think that just pull her out of there and put her in the Star Wars universe. Done.
I know.
It's owned by Marvel. You do that. It's cool.
That's what I'm saying. My thing is it's like fantasy, and then it's also doable. It's totally doable. Well, they did give Black Knight. Remember, he had a lightsaber of sorts for a little bit.
Yep.
In the 90s. So it's possible.
They came close. In the Black Knight, actually, he went over into the Malibu world, into the Malibu universe as an Avenger over there. So he was actually part of Ultra Force for a while.
That's right.
So why not? Why couldn't she? Yeah. Take her. Let her go. Just take her. It's cool.
Do you imagine that? That's something you could actually see with the fact that Star Wars and Marvel are all in the Disney world, is telepaths, in the Star Wars world as kind of Jedis, or telekinetics and stuff like that. I mean, it totally works. Yeah, throw in Jean Grey and Psylocke into the Star Wars world. I want to see that.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be really cool.
Kevin, what do you got? You got one?
Yep. How about the use of Cerebro by a certain DC character? Now, you know that Cerebro, being Professor Xavier's, how can I describe it? A device that amplifies telepaths, amplifies your brainwaves. You're able to detect and trace any sentient creatures on Earth or even outside the Earth itself, but mainly we'll stick to Earth. So imagine Maxwell Lord using Cerebro.
Oof.
Yikes.
Well, all the Blue Beetles are dead.
Yep.
Again. Because A, he loves killing them, and B, DC loves killing them, so why not?
Yep. Now, since Maxwell Lord has the ability to use his telepathy to persuade people to make him do whatever he wants, he's even manipulated Superman and much of the Justice League. Imagine him having Cerebro and just doing whatever he wants. Basically, he can take over the minds of people with superpowers, people without superpowers. He can basically rule the world at will. So if he wants to start war, go ahead.
He's a low-level like telepath already, right?
Say it again.
Yeah.
A low level?
Yeah, isn't he like or I don't know, he's a telepath though, right? He can.
Yeah, no, I say he's a little higher level.
Yeah. Well, either way, I'm saying like it would be amplified like. With Cerebro.
Oh yeah. It'd be ridiculous. It'd be ridiculous. So this is like a way to basically outdo Lex Luthor when he was president of the United States. This guy can just basically rule the world and just make people do whatever he wants at any time.
I don't want to state the obvious of the parallels of Lex Luthor becoming president, rich and man.
I'm taking this to another level. Obviously, I mean, sure. You know what? That's probably bags of them, but still.
Yeah, go ahead.
He just basically just be the emperor of the world by having Cerebro on his side.
Yeah, I mean, he could basically just rule, an entire planet.
Yep.
He could be like Starro. Starro does it more effortlessly right now. I mean, he just throws his little pods on everybody's face and they're controlled. And in fact, there's still some really good stories to be told with Starro. I know our friend of the podcast here, Tony Bedard,
Rebels.
He did the Rebels storyline, which was fantastic. And again, if you guys have not read it, please go out and find it. It came out. It was part of the right before they did the reboot for DC for the New 52. They had a run of 32, 33 issues, somewhere around there, of Rebels, 28 issues. I don't know. It wasn't a ton of issues, but a fair amount, where they did this whole run where they were on the run from Starro actually got conquered himself by an entity that could then control Starro, and by controlling Starro, he was able to control everybody else.
Oh, wow.
It was really cool. Yeah, it was a really cool concept.
Just the aesthetic look of if you knew Starro was in charge because everybody had a starfish on their face.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it was kind of, imagine Conan the Barbarian outwilling Starro and then becoming a total, emperor of a planet.
Yep.
That type of scenario could happen with Max Lord. Yeah, you're right. That'd be cool.
Yeah. And just like what you were saying earlier about Batman having, Jean Grey's abilities, I mean, Maxwell Lord, you take this, to a million levels, because now he can basically read the minds of everybody on Earth, know where you're at any time, and control you like a puppet at any time. So this would be a very dangerous weapon for Maxwell Lord to possess.
Yeah, that's a good one. I did not think of that one.
Thank you.
I guess I'll go last here on this will be my last one. That was your last one, Kevin, right?
No, second to last. This is only number 2. I didn't get to my third yet.
Yeah.
You remember how
that's right, because I went with you. Yeah. So I actually went twice. Yay! So this is my last one, guys. I'm going to go with, this is a rather generic choice, I will say, but just wait for it. Kevin, I'm going to cover your face again. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Now, we're going Captain America, and I'm going to give him the powers of another character.
Howard the Duck.
What's that?
Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
A duck bill.
Yes. I'm going to give Captain America the powers of Crazy Jane from the Doom Patrol.
Okay.
Now think about that. Now, everybody knows who Captain America is, but not everybody knows who Crazy Jane is. Not everybody's seen the show. Not everybody's read the comic. Doom Patrol was basically, it came out a couple months before the X-Men first came out. And they were basically the same. People with rare powers that could definitely be seen as strange and unusual, and they couldn't be out in the open. So they were basically the Morlocks before there was the Morlocks.
Outcasts, outsiders, yeah. And wheelchair guys.
Yeah, and both guys that led were in wheelchairs. But anyway, Crazy Jane, she has 64 alternate personalities. In each personality, because she has dissociative identity disorder, in each person, which a lot of people, it used to be called multiple personality disorder, for those that don't know. Each personality has a different power. So, for example, Baby Doll. So imagine Captain America, and you have the Steve Rogers persona. Imagine if Steve Rogers has to take a back seat to a character named Baby Doll, to a small child that lives inside of his brain, that has a telekinetic ability, and it believes everything to be lovely. So, everything's so sweet. So you have Steve Rogers, for example, fighting Crossbones, and Crossbones is beating the shit out of him. Suddenly, Steve Rogers goes, "Oh, I love that! Please hit me again!" And he's like, Crossbones is like, "What? What? All right." And he hits him again, and he's like, "That's great!" And then, he picks up a rock telekinetically and slams it against Crossbones' face and knocks him back, and then just keeps crashing him with rocks until he's dead.
Or his shield, just has his shield fly and smack him in the back of the head.
Or he's just using his shield, yeah. Or you have Black Annis. Who's It's not Black Anus.
Oh, sorry.
Black Annis is an aggressive alter that's equipped with sharp claws, red eyes, and blue skin. So imagine Captain America, Wolverine's full berserker rage. He can go into an alternate, and Black Annis can come out with these claws and this blue skin and fight Wolverine. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be badass. Butterfly Baby, which is another weird one. I'm just going to say some names. Bubble, Blood of the Lamb, Daddy. Captain America is Daddy. Driller Bill, Hammerhead, Flaming Katie, Flit. Hammerhead's another good one, just very strong, super strength. So more additional strength added to Captain America. Maybe if he has to take on the Hulk or something, he gets Hammerhead in there.
Was Crazy Jane a Grant Morrison character? Because she was in the later run, in that run,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. She was a Grant Morrison character. So a really cool invention. 64 alternate personalities that can come forth, but can also, in a way, handicap who Steve Rogers is as an individual, and can take away his ability to judge correctly whether or not he's on the path, straight and narrow. This would put him off that path. This would make him more Punisher-esque. So I would love to see an issue where he has these powers and the Punisher's like, "You're just like me," and Cap tries to prove he's not.
Right.
I think that would be profoundly fascinating.
Or a story of just the straight-laced guy dealing with kind of superhero mental illness.
Yeah. Yeah. And it could go deep into veterans and stuff like that. Maybe, they could talk about, "Oh, well, I have personalities as well, these alters and stuff," and he goes into counseling or something and meets all these other people with these so-called powers or something that they could possibly also have. It could be a whole thing. Yeah, Super Soldier Serum created the fractured mentality in people, anything like that could be. There's a lot of ways they could go with this, in other words.
I dig it.
Yeah, so that's my final one. Would be Captain America with the powers of Crazy Jane from Doom Patrol. And
all right, I'll go with my last one. I'm going to start with one of the biggest, baddest villains in Marvel Universe, Mr. Victor Von Doom. And now, this guy's already a mad genius, super powerful. He's found way. The biggest thing I love about Doom is he's always found ways to manipulate others into gaining more power. I think at one point he stole the Silver Surfer's power cosmic. He's messed with Mephisto. He's done all kinds of stuff. But a lot of people don't know that he also has studied mysticism and mystic things. So he's got magic too. So he's a great mix of science and magic.
Yeah.
Now, his magic has always been on the that's been on he's never been on the Doctor Strange level, but to help him out with that, I'm going to give Mr. Victor Von Doom the helm and the amulet of Naboo, the helm of Dr. Fate. So now most people that wear the helmet of Dr. Fate are kind of controlled a little bit by Naboo. But as I was just saying, Victor Von Doom is a master manipulator, so he would find a way around that to make Naboo his bitch, and he would become the all-powerful Doom, Doctor Doom, the all-powerful Dr. Doom. We have Dr. Fate. He's still Dr. Doom, Dr. Doom Fate. He is like, I mean, we were talking about the Red Hulk or Red Lantern Hulk. This guy's on that level now too. You know, he's got all the intelligence, wit, manipulation, powers of Doom mixed with ultimate power of magic. You know, so science and magic, infinite.
They made him similar to that. I think it was Secret Wars, the newer one that they did, where they made him Doom God, is what they called him, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
Which was weird. That whole storyline I did not like at all.
Was that something with like a celestial, or was that?
I think that was in there. I think it was Hickman that was writing it, if I recall, but I could be wrong. It just seems like something Hickman would write in the style that he would write, because I could not get into it at all. I've never gotten into his work, so, you know.
You gotta like the graphs.
Yeah. Lots of charts and graphs.
Lots of charts and graphs.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dr. Doom Fate would be mine. Just also, he looks super badass. He's got the.
Do we want to put money?
Fate, you know.
Do we want to put money on whether Kevin or not did one about Doom? Because I'm willing to put some money on that one.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Nah, because he's got two go-tos, and I knew I was taking a risk going with a lantern ring, because he loves. If there's two things Kevin loves in this world, it's the lanterns, and it's Doctor Doom.
And Silver Surfer and some others, yeah. And the X-Men.
That's true. But Kevin, what's your next one?
Well, there's truth to what you said, but I thought of someone else when Jarrett was talking about Doom. I figured, you know what? I can switch Doom out for this particular device. And it's a device called the Mobius chair.
Okay.
So I figured, why not take another mutant villain, sorry, not another, but a mutant villain in particular, and give him access to the Mobius chair? Why not use the Master of Magnetism, Magneto, and give him access to the Mobius chair?
Well, we all know how that works then.
Let's talk about what the Mobius chair does, though, in a second after Jarrett's done. I'm sorry, Jarrett.
Well, I was going to say, first he would, the Holocaust would have never happened. He would have his wife and all that stuff. He'd still have Magda and everybody. And then it would just be, mutants would rule all. Like, he would find a way to make all that stuff happen lickety split.
Yep, it'd be a mutant utopia, not only on Earth, but all across the universe, or anyone mutant-like. He'd basically be like, you just basically create himself into be like a messiah with that Mobius chair.
Right. So yeah, what Donna was saying, explain the Mobius chair a little bit so people.
It has functions resembling like a mother box. So you have interstellar teleportation travel in an instant. You can survive the rigors of space and other environments. It gives you omni knowledge. So, you know, it contains all the knowledge of all the new gods, the maps, the history of locations visited by Metron, who would usually using that Mobius chair. So Magneto would have access to just knowledge on a massive scale. Create holograms, force fields, has a tractor beam that's powerful enough to pull a planet. Now, the funny thing is, it probably might indeed enhance and amplify his magnetic abilities. So you might be using a tractor beam to pull an entire, galaxy or something.
See, and if it was Doom, the planet would be shaped in the face of Doom's mask. There'd be a Mount Rushmore with like 4 Doom faces. You'd be at Doom Donald's.
Or he would turn Ego's face.
Doom King, in and out, Dr. Doom style.
He would transform Ego.
Okay, can I get a double Doom? Double Doom with cheese, please. Not a double. Double Doom with cheese.
Animal Doom style. Yeah.
Yeah, and for those that don't, In-N-Out is a very popular burger joint out in California and a few other states, Nevada, and I believe Arizona as well. Recently, Arizona. I think the last 10 years or so. Somewhere around there. Yeah. Similar to Whataburger, which is famous in Texas.
Never been to that. Been to Five Guys, In-N-Out.
I'm about to start a feud on our podcast here, but Whataburger, I went there, and so I had a basic In-N-Out burger, and I figured you judge a burger joint by their basic burger. And so then I got a basic burger from Whataburger, and I posted a picture of it a couple years back when I went. Somebody just made the burger and went, there you go, asshole, and served it to me. and I would have rather had a McDonald's cheeseburger, to be honest, because at least I knew what I was getting, and it actually would have tasted better. It was not good. I was not impressed at all. The only thing I was impressed with was their ketchup.
Really?
Yep. Ketchup. They have a spicy ketchup. That's great. And I bought a bottle. But other than that, not my thing.
Not such a great.
No.
burger.
But what they tell me, what fans of Whataburger tell me is it's not the plain burgers you want. It is the varietals of burgers, the other toppings and things that you would put it on, buns and such, that make it so much better.
If they're a burger place, then their basic cheeseburger, whatever, should be great.
You would think. You would think, yeah. But, I mean, a lot of these burger joints do survive on the fact that they can do, varieties of different things. Sometimes, like, there's a taco place I heard called Del Taco, and they make burgers. So it's just...
That's true.
It's weird. It's weird sometimes.
So basically what we're saying was we should give the Mobius chair to Wimpy from Popeye so he could find all the best cheeseburgers.
Yes.
In the universe.
That is actually way better. Sorry, Kevin. That is awesome.
That bowler cap wearing dude just like all through time, like finding the best cheeseburgers.
I will gladly pay you for a cheeseburger. Never?
Yeah, never. In never in time.
So what would the Fool Killer? What would the Fool Killer do with the Mobius chair?
Oh, he just... I don't know. I mean, well, it depends on which version you got, because there's like a super religious version. There was like the guy who the one in the 90s who I liked a lot, who just kind of like killed people who he thought were actually like ruining society. So I don't know. I think that would be too much responsibility. He'd probably actually just screw it up and like crash in the wrong place and die.
Hey, guys, Josh popped in. Everybody say hello to Josh.
Hello, Josh.
Josh, you're catching us on the tail end of the pod, but thank you for popping in, buddy. We appreciate it. One other one I had in the back of my head that I did not write down, but I thought it'd be hilarious was if the Tick had the powers of Plastic Man. Plastic Man's always kind of been a little zany, but imagine that he's just batshit crazy like the Tick is.
Right.
And then just give him the powers. I think the Tick would just forget that he is a mailbox or something, and then he would try to, go and, I don't know, go sailing or something ridiculous, or
he could
go to a mall.
Now when he screams spoon, he could actually like be in the shape of a spoon.
True. Yeah. He could make his own friends instead of carving one out of wood. He could just turn his hand into a friend.
Right.
Arthur would be replaced easily by some appendage that he would be able to use, and it could be that appendage. We don't know. But that could be another fun one I thought of, but just silly, and I was like, I can't really go very far with that one,
Right.
But it's just fun to think about. So there was some fun ones to think about. So this was fun in general, just to think about that kind of stuff. But anybody have any last comments? Anybody out there in the chat want to bring up who they think, what kind of powers should one of the characters have, or if you combine two characters together to create a new character, or any of that kind of stuff. If you have a comment about that, please feel free to pop that in the chat while we're talking about a few things that has to do with our podcast. Basically, what we want to mention is where you can find us for our regular audio podcasts, which are available. So, gentlemen, you want to take that?
We are on. We're just on Apple now too, right? That's
iTunes.
Yeah, we should be back on Apple. Yes.
Spotify.
Spreaker.
Stitcher, I believe, right?
Stitcher. We're on TuneIn. We're on iHeartRadio.
Nice.
We're on Blueberry. We are on SoundCloud, and of course,
We're on
YouTube as
obviously.
well. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Sometimes some of us will get tweets by James Gunn. So that happens occasionally.
That's true.
Yep. Only when in spandex, though.
That's
Go
true.
figure. But yeah, you can find us in a multitude of sources, and you can always reach out to us. You can reach out to us via email. You can reach out to us on the website, even rumblespoon.com. which
if you have
hosts,
episode ideas you want to see us do, by all means, send those recommendations out. We will always be looking for those.
Yep. Thanks to one Louis, you will be seeing eventually. We're going to be doing a homage to the Simpsons live podcast. We're going to be doing one of those in the coming months as well.
Nice.
It'll be a fun one, particularly when we talk about the Treehouse of Horrors and stuff. So that'll be coming down the pike. All kinds of ideas and thoughts that'll be coming out. Our podcasts are usually weekly. Sometimes they're bi-weekly, like Kevin. That's a throwback to Julio's joke that and he made again today, Kevin, and it's been above your head half the time.
We have character spotlight episodes where we just do kind of a quick spotlight on a character that might have kind of a fun history, a convoluted history. We did one on Hyperion. If you know that is from Marvel. He's got about 50 versions, so that's a good one to check out. We got one on the Peacemaker we've been talking about coming up. We did a She-Hulk one. We've got some great ones. So, yeah, check those out as well.
Yep. Definitely check us out. And if you can't check out any of our podcasts right away, maybe we will see you sometime
at the sweet, precious, righteous, homely comic book shop.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. You all have a good night.
Be safe out there. Take care.
All right. Take care, guys. Love you, Mom. Love you, Dad. Bye-bye, guys.